Hello, ICX India. This is MCVP Customer Experience, Chuck. So today I'm going to briefly talk about the session in MNC about value delivery. This is applicable for both IDCDP and IGIP. So in MNC conference, we went through two functional track with both IDCDP and IGIP department talking about value delivery. So if you look at the 2016 ICX India roadmap, value delivery is mentioned one of the big project for both program. I'll just briefly talk about what is this about today, and also how can you actually make value delivery happen for both ICX function. The first key message is that 40% of your value delivery comes with expectation setting. Starting from when you're publishing your opportunity portal, having your first interview, having your incoming preparation seminar, and even like a conversation or WhatsApp conversation with your customer, which is our EP in our case. Everything that you talk about gonna set expectation. So here's my theory: happiness equals to expectation divided by reality divided by expectation. So if your expectation is set too high, the reality is not as good, then of course people are not gonna have a good people are gonna complain about it. It makes very simple sense, because if you think about it, any product and service you purchase, if the product and service promise something but they cannot deliver, you'll be disappointed. So please take care of that. Do not, for the sake of you want to match a lot of EPs and you set really high expectation, just say whatever it is, tell the reality so that it will happen. The basic logic of why we're doing value delivery is in this slide, where there's LDM in the middle and there's four squares around it. So if you can find that slide. In the end, when we talk about value delivery, we are delivering a value. So in ICX, what is the value we're delivering? In a simple sense, it's a leadership experience. So leadership experience is the only thing that we want to deliver through ICX. And of course, there are a lot of things come with it, such as culture experience, such as making friends, such as personal development. But we want to bucket everything in a sense that it's in a bucket of leadership development. And for that, we have a model called leadership development model, and we call it LDM. So the question is, how do we develop LDM? There are four aspects need to be taken care of, and mainly this session today I'll be talking about what are these four elements. First of all is standards. Standards are the basic things we set to ourselves, saying that these are the minimum thing we need to provide to our customers. And there are 16 standards to be fulfilled. For example, you need to give visa and work permit support, arrival pickup support, departure support, and also you need to make sure insurance is there, accommodation is there, and basic living cost is covered. So if you think about it, right now, if we look at the reality of ICX India right now, we're suffering from quality issue, and mainly because of SNS, because of standards are not being fulfilled. For a foreigner to come to India, it's like I'm a foreigner coming to India. It's not cheap, to be honest. Like I need to pay for the ticket, I need to go for a holiday. It is a lot of investment in terms of money and also time people are investing to come to India. So it is very absolutely important for us to make sure the basics are covered by us. So like that comes with processes. If you have to support people, you have to support system to do all of this. So one warning is that in summer peak, we're gonna have a lot of people coming in. At one point, some of the LC might have 100, even 200 people in your city. And how can you make sure every single customer are taken care of, that they are being served that in the correct manner? So if you don't have enough HR in your team, please do have that, and make sure every single person have the basic covered. So right now, if you think about it, in India, the top detracting issues or people complain about, first is accommodation. So make sure your accommodation is sorted, that you have good accommodation provided for your EP, and also you have enough bed to start with. Don't put your EP on the mattress, give them a bed, some very, very basic things. Second thing is make sure all the EPs are picked up from the airport. And third thing is to make sure you are constantly communicating with the EP, and that's one of the biggest thing people complain about that coming to India, is that they feel they're not so connected with the ICX, or they're not being taken care of properly. The last one is to make sure the JD, the job description, is matched well their as they are promised. So before they come, they're promised for certain 1, 2, 3, 4 things to complete in their experience, and make sure that happens within their experiences. Okay. And that's standards. The second thing I'm going to talk about is outer journey. Outer journey being like your very simple, put it into words, is how do we provide a challenging experience to our EP? Be it India, be it the job description, be it the work they do, be it how the culture is like in this country. We need to make sure there are points that they are actually feeling challenged. So in your case, you need to make sure the JD is challenging enough wherever they're working in a company, or they're working for an NGO or for a school. So make sure the JD is challenging enough. Otherwise, do not put that on the system. The third part I'm going to talk about is inner journey. It's like, I was making this example in the MNC as well. So it's like, if I ask you to run 20 kilometers right now, and then after 3 hours you came back, you ran that mile, and you did that, you complete the challenge, and I'm like, okay, next session. How does that make you feel? It will make you feel weird. It'll make you feel like, what the heck just happened right now, right? So a lot of the time, like, coming to India is such an experience. You're sending people to run their heart out for something that they have never experienced. So it is very important, by the end of it, I have a debriefing, what exactly happened with you guys, so that the learning for people can be conscious. In ICX, a lot of the time, the learning are unconscious. So the point is, how can we make sure people are getting conscious learning out of the experience itself? The last thing I want to talk about is using lead as a catalyst. So right now, ICX India is developing the system for lead, and we'll properly launch it by end of April. So I will give you more detailed training according for lead. In a nutshell, lead is a catalyst that we use so that we can fasten or shorten the process of people getting that leadership development. So again, making the learning more conscious, making people aware of what exactly they're getting out of. And the lead session is based on the LDM model, the leadership development model. So there are 4 characteristics, which is world citizen, solution-oriented, empowering others, and what is the last one? And of course, being self-aware. These are the 4 things that we want to constantly develop within our EPs. So how we can make sure they will develop this out of the ICX experience, especially for GIP. We really need to think about this. Okay, so in terms of implementation, there's 4 things I mentioned in the slides. You can check it out. First is you need to get the team. You have the HR to do it. Second is about training for the system, so people need to learn the process, and once we launch the EP lead system and also the customer support system, you're able to see what exactly we need to do in that sense. Lastly, second lastly, you need to have a plan of action. How am I actually doing value delivery? And you need to put someone in charge in your department to be the final responsible for value delivery. Be it the team leader, be it a quality manager, like you need someone to be the final responsible. The final responsible doesn't mean he's delivering the value delivery for everyone. Everyone should be delivering value delivery, but this person is the final responsible to track everyone. They are on the same plan. And lastly, of course, is to track the LC delivery plan. So the last thing I want to talk about today is called the Mps Dashboard. So right now, every single LC would have an Mps Dashboard. On the Mps Dashboard, you are able to see your score in terms of value delivery based on the customer's feedback. So in there, you're able to see how are you progressing in terms of value delivery and customers' feedback based on customers' feedback, and you're also able to see what are the main issue that your EP is facing in your LC in terms of value delivery. So in this sense, you're able to use it more, use this insight to actually shape your operational behavior. I think that's all. Please check the output, and you can have this discussion within your LC again, and hope we have a brilliant summer that is provided for every single person in this world. And lastly, I just want to say that ICX is a beautiful organization for creating leadership experience, but we need to really think about what kind of experience are we providing to our customers. If the customers are not getting what we are promising, then we're doing doing something for the sake of just doing it. So let's make things right and let's make things correct. Okay. Yeah, that's all. Hope you have fun, and please email me if you have any questions. You can find my email in the national contact list here. I hope someone can add that, but if not, okay, thank you.